don't know. We'll see what's going on.
Oh, really? I love NXT, man.
Yeah, and I didn't see it from the top. Oh, I hit the record button. Look at me. Boys and girls, this is a fine Tuesday. We're getting closer to the end of the work week. I hate the fucking work week, but we are so close, my man. We're getting closer and closer. This is a fine Tuesday evening, and boys and girls, look who we have tonight. This is Stir the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest, Rob Williams. Thank you for coming on, my man.
Dude, we're not worthy, man. First of all, I don't know who canceled on you tonight. You're going bottom of the barrel. But, dude, I appreciate you having me on, dude, and I'll give you the love first, bro. I'm a fan of your show and what you do because you get it, man. You give the indie talent a voice, and that's what it's all about. I feel like there's a lot of podcasts and podcasters out there. Sometimes the show becomes about them and not about the guests, and I see the guests approach you. Even today I saw you post something. Like, people use you as almost a medium, as like a voice to talk to the fans, talk to the promotions, man. And that's what it's all about. And you get it. I'm a fan. I got the beard today. I got the beanie just for you, bro. So thank you so much, man.
And you did point out you were going to maybe clean up a little bit. And I said, I would do the same, my man. I would do the same.
You look good.
And you as well. You look pretty. You look beautiful. Now, I wore this, before we get into Mr. Rob Williams,
okay.
I wore this merch specifically. This is the Custom Pops LC by
So
LC.
good. So good.
Laura C. And I have a couple of here on display, myself to the right and nephew Jacob to the left, my left and right, if you will. And I love my sister Laura C. and the creativity that she provides, the talent and stuff. It's just amazing, man.
It's awesome. I love that. All about the shameless promo. That shirt's, I haven't seen the shirt yet. The shirt's amazing, and I love the Funkos, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of jealous, man. In fact, before we were recording, I was like, oh, like, is that you? Like, I saw the Funkos in the back. Those came out great, bro.
Yes, they did. And I was just so heartwarmed by her when she ever popped those when
Nice.
she ever popped those on me. And
like
she did
it.
myself, my nephew, and my daughter. And I cannot thank her enough for the love that she sends this way. But I know this is about Mr. Williams, but I really wanted to. I had to. I mean, that's my sister.
She's
LC.
awesome, and she's bought the BCP tees. She's making the Funkos, all about it. So shout to them. That's what it's all about, bro.
Yes, we all do this circle of support, my man, and we talk a lot about support in the wrestling industry. So you know what? Not where I wanted to start, but let's start there because that's actually a great topic, and I love talking about it. The support system with what you do, and boys and girls. I mean, I do my thing. I'm a one-man band here. I just use my phone. I don't have any crazy gadgets, and look at Miss Williams. Got that nice little swinging mic, looking all professional and stuff. And
It's photoshopped. It's not real.
and I kind of mess with the guys and girls at the shows, and I get up in their faces, Donkey Case in the ring, and we have a lot of fun. And then I started doing an interview thing, and I see how the others around me carry themselves and how they, their formats and whatnot. And Mr. Williams is one of my faves out there with the Bob Culture podcast. And you guys do some fantastic work with all of the great talent that you guys get over there. And I just kind of wanted to start there because the support system to do to do all of this kooky shit in wrestling, man, you need somebody behind you, or even just your family, your spouse, your sister, your brother, your kids, no matter who it is. Could you please talk to us about that support system thing?
Yeah, man, that's a great question, dude. Perfect. I can't wait to answer this. So basically, in real life, we all go through stuff in real life. I'll just say this: I have the best support system. I have a band of brothers. I have a great family. I have guys that have pulled up in box trucks to help me move when I was going through stuff or whatever was going on. And it's awesome, man. I live with one of my best friends, Nunez, the co-host of the most, the Goodest Brothers, we call him. Let's start with him, man. He's my co-host on a lot of these interviews. We just shameless promo. We had an interview with Deanna. That was amazing. Steve Macklin. And I was just so proud of him because he makes the guests laugh and feel comfortable. And I watch these interviews back because I'm very critical, but I'm like, I almost feel like we're like the morning show of like interviews. You know what I mean? Because we're just chilling, we're talking, we're cracking jokes, we're reacting because you do want to be professional, but at the same time, you want to be like human. You know what I mean? And I feel like we have a very good reputation and we have a good positive vibe. I don't think we ask hard-hitting questions too much unless it's, something we feel that someone would be comfortable opening up about. And I think it's important that the guest is always comfortable, that we're informed. And the best way I can describe it is the past couple cons and shows we've gone to. And I'm not like toot my own horn kind of guy, but I will on this one. Beep beep. But basically, nice. The national talent came over to us because we were set up trying to look as professional as we could, but they would see us interviewing a lot of the indie talent that we're friends with, and it was just a good vibe, and they could see that they were having a good time with us and they were comfortable. And the past couple of shows, like internet, like, are you guys live? Like, what do you do here? And I was like, yeah, like, would you like, we'd be honored, Mr. So-and-so or Mrs., like Miss, like, it would be an honor. Like, we've always wanted to interview you. And they're like, yeah, sure. Like, this is the fun part of wrestling, because not everyone wants to be interviewed, especially in this climate, with this world that we live in, man. And I get it, man. I've interviewed some people and things have been twisted or made clickbait, and I'm like, no, like, because I'm not like that, but people are all about like those headlines and stuff like that, so things get spun. But I'm very proud of my guys, and not just Nunez, but Vac, Matt, Bill, Kimmy, Mike Mueller, Amanda. The list goes on and on. We have a great panel. We have a great team. I'm proud of them. They're professional. They're informed. And they're human. You know what I mean? Like, they're fun. So I'm very proud, and I couldn't be more thankful.
I'm glad you stated as much as you did there, because that was the reason behind wanting to bring you on Stir in the Pot, because this isn't my show. I've repeated this many times on my interviews, but I just want to reiterate, this isn't my show. This is a show for the fans. This is why I do this, because I'm a fan. I mean, no matter however a specific wrestler or a specific fan perceives me, I'm just a fan. I'm a dude with a phone, and I stay that way. And like you said, I don't make these crazy ass waves. I don't get into the politics and the drama and the sides and all of this stuff. And when all of the, the heavy politics shit really started digging, I was like, yeah, I'm just, staying back. So I don't get into all of that. But that was the thing with yourself and the cast around you, is you guys are very neutral. You're very uplifting with the talent. That's what I'm all about, my man. And I really, and I love everything you guys and girls are doing over there at the BCP. And that's why I really wanted to get you on, because you do have some talent that, like, I wouldn't reach out to right now, because I always feel I'm like a kid, like it's Christmas, dude. I'm always like so nervous, and I know you guys are too. But to get these talents on, man, it's really, you gotta have that reach and respect. That's the thing right there. That word respect, okay? And I know I'm yammering a little bit, but I feel that connection of the interview thing. And I always thought that if I started this, I wanted to do, if it was a guy just starting or a girl just starting, may he be a referee, a wrestler, an announcer, I don't care what he does in the business. If I can get somebody from the ground up, I'm all about that. I just want to shine that little tiny spotlight if I can.
And they remember it too. If you do that, they remember it.
And I love that stuff. I'll ask, have you ever been interviewed? And if I hear no, I'm like, oh my God, thank you. you know. But it's that word respect, Mr. Williams, and I see that from the BCP. And I give you, all the respect back, back to you, my man, because the talent that you guys get in, very top-notch indie stuff right now going on. It's so much. I mean, so much talent out there. And there's something that I wanted to kind of piggyback on what you said, though, is they do all of these podcasts, and they're always asked, the same questions. And some you have to ask it to a degree. Some you can kind of work around and maybe put your own flavor on. That's what I try to do, is just go off the cuff and try to do whatever I can, that's not the norm, if you will, But that's the thing. And to get those guys and girls who want to say yes by going to all of these podcasts, especially when the world was all to shit and it shut down and everybody wanted to do something, but then you get burnt out on, like, how many podcasts can I really do? And I yammered a little bit, but you can feel that through all of that time slot, right? Through the vid and all of that,
Yeah, man. You bring up some really good points, and I'm sending the love right back to you because you said it perfectly, man. Like, you're like, it's not about me. It's about like the talent and all that stuff, and I feel
Hmm.
that way too. And a lot of these wrestlers, have become friends, and have been there for me in my personal life. Casey Navarro, Vicky. I mean, I'm not just name dropping here. Like Johnny Moran, like they've literally been there for me through some tough times, whether it's putting smiles on my faces or wearing my shirt to the ring. They knew I was going through a hard time, and just like talking to me on Messenger or personally, like, so I want to give it all back, man. It's that too. You talk about, like the range of names and stuff that we interview. Like it is all about the indies, like for sure. But the BCP, instead of a pop culture, we went Bob culture. It wasn't just a wrestling show. Like now it's like 90% wrestling because the wrestling has taken off. Like with you, like the wrestlers approach you, the wrestlers are approaching us like, hey, like I have something to say to this company. Hey, I have something to say to this person. Hey, are you available? Like, and then they bring younger talent on and like, hey, this is my guy, get him on your show. Like that's what it's all about. At the same time, when we do these cons, we did a lot of cons like right before like the pandemic and stuff, and we got and I'm all about the name drops. I apologize in advance. We got Kurt Angle on. You talk about like, oh, like how do you approach these talents? It's all about respect and all that stuff. Hey, Mr. Angle, Rob Crother. I think I did it for the Pop Break. Rob Crother, senior editor for the popbreak.com. Do you have a few minutes for an interview? My goal that year was to interview signed WWE superstar or under contract superstar and Santa Claus, which I haven't done yet. That's going to happen soon. But it was like Chris Van Vliet says, you set goals for yourself. So I was like, all right, let's do this because it's very hard to interview WWE talent. And it was a horror con. Kurt Angle was there. I asked him very professionally, and I'm thinking, you're going to get that. No, I'm under contract. No, I don't want to do press. And he goes, well, how long of an interview? And in my head, I'm like, say the right thing, say the right thing. Like I was like, yay, but very professional and respectful. Like you said, I said 2 minutes, Mr. Angle, and he was great. Like he sat down, did the interview for us, and it was really, really awesome, man. And that's what it's all about, man. You have to try. Like it's all about taking chances. You're going to get a million no's. You're going to, even from the indie talent, like you'll get a million no's, but you never know who's going to say yes. Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters. That's a big thing right now at a horror con a couple years ago. I'm like, no way Ernie Hudson's going to say yes. His line went down. He's like, well, there's no line. He's like, I don't see why not. I'm like, Nunes, get over here, bro. And we got an interview with Ghostbusters. So like, that's my advice. Like, you never know. Like, keep asking, keep trying. You're going to get a million, like, messages left on red. You're going to get a million like, oh no, I'm under contract. You're going to get a million polite no's like, no, I can't. My manager. I've had I won't say who. I had recently had an AEW talent say, yeah, I'll totally do it at a con, because again, they were seeing we had such a good vibe with like the indie talent people that are national talent too that we were having on, and they were right across from us. They're like, yeah, I'd love to do it, but like the promoter, whoever the agent was like, no, 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 kind of thing. But you never know, man, and it's always good to make like a good impression. Like you said, be respectful and always try, man. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Absolutely. And like, I'm at a live show, and I'm going to use I'm going to use an example at a live show.
Yeah.
Pre-Kin COVID. I see what I did. Kin COVID right now.
Yeah.
But
Hashtag,
pre-Kin COVID, I see Sandman. He's behind the merch table, and he's got his kendo stick. He's been drinking the brewskis. He's done his whole thing, with the crowd and its intermission. And I'm sitting across the room, and I go, I'm shitting myself right now. And I do not want to approach this dude because I don't want that stick upside my effing head,
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I'll reiterate what you just said. If you don't ask, you'll never know. Even if it's a no, hey, at least you tried, man. If I get a kendo stick up the head, at least I can walk away with a story.
It's a great story, yeah.
Yeah, I got semi-concussed by a Sandman, so I approach him, and he looks at me, and he's got his arms folded, and he wasn't holding the stick. He just had it next to him, and he's just standing there. And I walk up to him, and I give him my stick, and he goes, back. And I go, all right, that's cool. And I walked away, and dude, I felt like I was sweating just coming right. Like I was like, oh my God, I was so nervous. When he said the no, I was like, son's a bitch. But you know what, man?
I respect it too.
Yes, and you have to, man.
Because he doesn't know if you're like a good journalist. He doesn't know if you're going to twist it, if you're going to sell it. Like I've had people twist stuff, man. And like, I just want to go to the town and be like, I'm so sorry. Like, like the dirt sheets will pick it up and turn it, man. Like they don't know you. So that's why I say it's so important to like, I try to set up and create a vibe. I'm giving away all my secrets here.
Yeah. Hey, but it's the same kind of thing, because how I got into it is basically I was going to the shows and just doing clips and networking with the guys and girls, and then it became I was doing more of the full match footage and still clipping and stuff, and then I was messing with graphics and all of this. And over the course of the past 5-6 years, I've been gaining all of these relationships and like just so tight bonds with all of these talents, bro, and the promoters as well. That it kind of goes inside. Not all of them. Not all promoters want to be friends with, guys. Dr. Kate's at a Ricky Kate. I don't want to I don't want to. No. But I made so many tight bonds over the course, and these are the things, though, and that's how I kind of progressed into it. And then I heard a story of one of the local wrestlers, and I go, dude, I want to start interviews, and you got to be the first one. That story was amazing. The guy was like paralyzed, basically. I mean, he had a effed up spine. Doctor told me he ain't gonna walk.
Oh my gosh!
Like a year and a half later, if I'm not mistaken, my home slice. he wants to be a professional wrestler, so he becomes a professional wrestler, and here we are. USF 13, spine no bueno, and today my man is still an active wrestler doing his thing. And I love Yusuf. He was my very, very first interview. And I'm not trying to yak on about myself, but I wanted to give you a perspective of why I started it, and to give that little spotlight, if I could, and spread it to our talents. And like you stated, the friendships of just personal behind the scenes as well. It's just been absolutely amazing. And I would never, never change it in a million years, man. Just so cool.
It's a two-way street, for sure.
Yeah, and that whole contract thing. I wanted to have a return for my 300th. I'll be totally transparent, because my 300th, I was transparent with him, and he said, no problem, man. I will take second fiddle to George All. And I was trying to get my man George All to make a return. But since our last conversation, probably about a year or so ago, maybe a year and a half, he's been signed on the dotted line over there at the AEW. So, he gave me some love. We have a great relationship. He gave me some love, but he was very honest. And I go, no problemo, my man, no problemo.
Yeah.
But I have my 300s coming on. So I do have my 300s.
Congratulations, man. Congrats.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. I really appreciate that. But these goals that you talk about, that was kind of my goal. If I can get past 100 subscribers on my channel, it's all gravy. Yeah. That's all I cared about. But to get a guy like Kurt Angle, when you're walking up to him, I mean, come on, you just got to be shitting bricks, yeah?
Yeah, so at that point, like there's no, and it's like, it's not even just that stuff. Like with me, like I get nervous like about certain things. Like if I'm playing my drums, man, like I'm very like calm. Like that is my office. Like even when I'm doing commentary, there's still a little bit of nerves. I'm learning. Even with big interviews, I get a little bit nervous, but it's like, it's more like the logistics stuff. Like I'm like, if he says yes, is my Zoom recorder hooked up? Are the levels good? Like am I gonna walk around with all these wires? Like, dude, I'm like a mess sometimes at these shows. Like in my like H6 recorder, I have a mic. Like I want to make sure everything sounds good. So I worry about stupid stuff like that. Like that stuff I get nervous about. But of course, asking him. But in my mind, I was just like, if I'm as professional as I can be, and I am not a fashionable person, even though we do wrestling fashion, I am the least fashionable person in the world, but I try to look somewhat presentable. And I just try to be professional. And like I said, you never know who's going to say yes. And I think, there's an energy, there's a positivity, and there's a way to approach people that you're like, hey, you're a human. I'm a human. I'm a fan of what you do. We have this platform, because at the end of the day, Kurt Angle doesn't need to be on the BCP. He doesn't, need to be, you know what I mean? He was very generous. You know what I mean? He's doing it for us, talk with a fan, and it's a two-way street. And at the same time, I'll share it everywhere. And even with the Indie Town, I say this all the time. If you have him on, share their stuff. You know, I try to buy an 8x10 from everyone I have on if I can. I try to support in some, you know, I always try to represent. I got the Vertigo wristband on now. Like in some way, I always try to just keep sharing their stuff. It's not just like a one-time thing. So, and I see you do the same thing, man. This is going to be a love fest. I told you already. I saw you rocking the Savage shirt. That's our guy, PJ Savage, man. He's hungry right now. That's a whole nother topic right there, man. But yeah, dude, it's just be professional. And yeah, like at this point, I expect to hear a lot of no's, but you never, ever know who's going to say yes.
You seem to carry yourself very well, as we've been, discussing, and how you present yourself as a media guy, if you will. Now, the question that I've been wanting to ask you since you said yes to come on Stirring the Pot. Out of everything you could, because you seem like you could be a great broadcaster. First off, was there any kind of schooling behind of what you do, or did you just do it on the fly and just kind of pick it up? Because of the way you carry yourself, you've got the voice for it behind that microphone. And then why wrestling? What is this with wrestling and Rob Williams, my man?
Man, that's a great question. So to answer the first part, like I was saying earlier, like drums, like I work with drums. I'm in drum lines. I teach drums. I played in bands since I was 16, man. And the music scene is very similar to wrestling. And then a lot of times the music scene, the local music, it's very thankless. It's one of the hardest businesses. And I mean, no disrespect, because I have a lot of friends that still do it, man. And I admit, in a lot of ways, it's like the wrestlers, like I miss it. A lot of people still ask me to join bands and all that stuff. And I'm like, I can't commit, man, but I'm always happy to fill in or help record. But drums are where I'm most comfortable. I've been taking lessons since I was 11. I teach. I've been in pit band, marching band, orchestras, rock bands, punk rock bands, all this stuff, man. And it's very rewarding. And that's where I'm comfortable performing. If I'm behind my drum kit, I even got to play some wrestlers to the ring, which is like bucket list. I got to play drums on Notorious Mimi's entrance theme. So every time she comes out, that's my drums on there. Thank you to John Kiernan. Shout to him. Shameless promo.
Oh my God. Love that guy.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
He's grinding, man. All the love and support to him. But yeah, dude, as far as like any formal training, like I always joked, like keep me away from the microphones, like keep me in the back on the drum set. Like I would do some like harmony stuff with other bands. And I don't think I'm a good singer, but I can hang with some other guys. I wish I could sing. That's something I would love to learn a little bit more. But as far as broadcasting, like no training. I wish I knew this was something I wanted to do when I was in college, but I studied music and psychology. And now looking back, I'm a lot older, but I'm like, man, I could have done that. It's just something I didn't know that I wanted. I was a fan of wrestling. The podcast was mostly a lot of local music, a lot of local businesses, which it still is. Again, like you said, it's about supporting and giving people a platform. But then the wrestling came about because I saw a lot of parallels between the local music and wrestling. I was at an indie show a long time ago, Jersey All Pro. It must have been 2014 or so. And I remember seeing name drop, but Leo Rush going around with a box, 8x10s, t-shirts. He's like, hey, and he was really great. And I'm like, oh, this guy's going to be a star one day. He was great in the ring. But it reminded me of us like selling our CDs and our t-shirts. And I'm like, yeah, man, I feel that or whatever. And I guess I kind of made that connection. So I started having wrestlers on, thanks to Chad Minez, who does standalone wrestling, Pro Wrestling After Dark, who's given me so many opportunities. And that's helped propel me to new things. I'll get some shameless promo for some events coming in later, shameless promo. Frankie Picard was my first ever wrestler I had on. Joe Gacy, who right now we've had on several times, who is killing it on NXT with what he's doing. I got to pick up the shirt. But no formal training, man, just kind of reps. I listen back to my stuff. I hate listening to myself. I hate my voice, honestly. I'm more comfortable behind the drums. Like I keep saying, like, I want to learn. I'm a sponge. Like I want people to tell me I'm doing something wrong. I want people to say like, you're bad. Don't do this, do this. And they do. But I get a lot of compliments and I get a lot of opportunities, which I don't fully understand. But I think a lot of it has to do with, I don't think I'm good at this. I think I have a strong work ethic. I think I put a lot into it. And I think I have a good reputation and a very positive vibe that I'm trying to help people. It's a two-way street, like I said earlier, man. So I feel that I'm learning. I love doing commentary at TCW. Pro Wrestling Magic's giving me some opportunities. Now I'm doing backstage interviewing over there. So I'm very grateful for the promoters giving me opportunities, and they keep asking me to come back. So we'll see what happens.
You look like you are having the time of your life, my man. I gotta
Yeah.
say, with everything you've got going on within the wrestling industry, you look like you're having a blast doing it all. And I love seeing the media. I love seeing it all. May it be pictures, may it be video, may it be, you guys interviews and whatnot. That's what it's all about. And that's why we do the wrestling thing. And that's where it all, and that's why I say it's so universal, because you can come from all sorts of walks of life. You could be this ethnicity, you could be this religion, you could be this sexuality. And there's a lot of people that come together for wrestling. Not everybody does, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
There is a niche, if you will, in the world for wrestling. But I find that if anything, with the football and all of this, and I know there's many more people that do dig it and watch that stuff, but wrestling is just so universal, my man. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, you said it perfectly, man. And I'm not gonna get deep on you, man. I'll just leave it at this, man. Like you get blindsided in life, man. We talked about support systems earlier, man. I got blindsided, man. Like I never thought I would, man. And it forced me to change logistics. I built this room and got a house with the goodest brother, Nunez, and my best buddy lives next door, man. So it's a healthy situation.
Yeah.
But I'm so lucky because the support system has, like, I don't deserve like how good the support system is, just because it's like too good. Like people go through stuff, and I feel for people that like have to go through stuff alone or feel that they have to go through stuff alone. And I almost feel spoiled that I have this band of brothers here, and then you bring the wrestling into it, and it's like I'm going through all this tough stuff that just like doesn't make sense in my head. Like, how did this happen? Or why did this happen? Or, did I do something? Or da da da. And it's, at the end of the day, you can't control everything. And, like I said, logistics change. It's, how do I move forward? Do I keep doing the podcast? Little stupid things like that. And then just to go to these wrestling shows and have people not only be like kind to me and support me and give me opportunity and put smiles on my face, but it sounds like so cliche. It sounds so lame, but like wrestling was super there for me. And I know it sounds super cheese, man, but like I don't take that for granted. And that's also why I do what I do. I want to give it all back to have these amazing athletic personas and really just some of the most interesting people that you meet in the world. These beautiful humans inside and out. It's really cool. Not all of them. I'm kidding, but no, for the most part. I always say everyone in wrestling's two people. I tease, but no, everyone for the most part, for real, has been really great, and I feel that I don't deserve it, but I want to give it all back. And I was lucky to have that to help me move forward. And I always say it gave me focus, like something to, like you were talking about earlier. Like, did I learn about broadcasting? No, but I studied. I had matches on, I hit mute. I worked with the boys. Like we would call matches together. I would listen to other commentators, and if I had interviews, if I'm doing backstage interviews, I'm going to do the study on that. If I'm calling certain matches, a guest commentator, I'm going to study on the talent. So it gave me a lot of focus, a lot of excitement, and a lot of opportunity, man. And it's really cool. You feel like a free agent in a lot of ways. You just kind of get to go wherever, meet new people, work with new people. And it's always exciting, man. My favorite part about doing it is honestly just traveling and seeing everybody. I'm like, I missed you guys. Like, how are you? You know what that's like, man. So I'm very, very, very grateful. You can tell.
So much love with all of what you just said, my man, and I feel it right there.
Yeah.
You work way harder than I do. You go to way more shows than I do. You do so much more, the legwork, the driving and such. And because I've kind of pulled it back, after COVID, I just had to pull it back, man. I couldn't be doing these 2.5, 3 hour drives at times. And I just had to kind of pick and choose some stuff that were closer and whatnot. And it is what it is. But hey, as long as I'm still in the game, that's all I care about. I just want to have me some fun,
Heck yeah, man. You're killing it, bro.
But you seem to be so damn busy with everything that you've got going on. having your calendar open up, it's just got to be littered with like, oh my God.
I'm looking for my calendar right now. I think it's on the other. I think it's on the other side of the. Oh wait, no, it's over here. I found it. But yeah, so I have to fill it out still. But it's getting to that point now. And again, like if this comes off as me tooting my own horn, I apologize. But like,
No, I started it.
Yeah. I'm like used to being booked here and there, and like November was the first month where it's like almost every weekend, like Saturday, Sunday, I was booked for something, backstage interviewer, commentator, whatever it is. I was doing cameras the other day. They need someone to fill in. I usually do camera switching, like the camera switchboard operator. They're like, "Can you step in on camera?" I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to learn how to do it," which is like another reason I love it is just I get to learn production too. Like that's awesome. So that was super cool. I did not have sneakers with me. That made it interesting. I was wearing my nice shoes, but whatever. But shout to Wes, who gave me a calendar at the last Pro Wrestling Magic. Wes Evans and his son Kyle, and this is a Rocco calendar with his dog Rocco.
Oh no,
Best
that's
and
awesome.
it's all Rocco. So this is my official calendar that I use now. I have to finish filling it out, but I have an actual calendar now. And thank you to Wes, who's a big supporter of the show. But this is very cool. So I have a Rocco calendar now.
That is so awesome, man.
It's great.
That is really good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Now, have you ever been caught up in any of the storylines, or you know, kind of getting in the mix just a little bit too deep where you never thought you'd be before?
Yeah, so I actually I didn't think I would. I actually love it. I've been in a couple storylines. Pulling back the curtain here for everybody. So I again, like I keep going back to this, like drums. I feel like I'm here, and then everything else, like commenting, interviews, podcasting, whatever it is, I'm like wherever. Acting, I'm a terrible actor. Like if I'm acting, like I feel like I'm acting. Like I am terrible at it. So anytime they ask me to do something, like I call it like a bit, like a sketch or a bit, you know, like that's kind of how I refer to it. Anytime I'm involved with something like that, I'm like, oh boy, like I'm going to smile, or like I want to be respectful. And the first time we did something like that was me and the boys. We were doing a pre-show for Standalone Wrestling, and we're doing like little giveaways and stuff before the show. Wrestler comes out and, you know, attacks us, throws us out of the ring. So I'm thinking, oh, am I taking a butt? Like, can I take a, like, again, will this, like, it's all the stuff that's going through your head. Like,
yes.
But at the end of the day, and then, you know, like the good guy comes out and saves us. So, in fact, shout to Vinny Cenzo, because we always joke with him about this, but he was like the good guy. So we're like, this is our first time like getting in the ring. And I'm like, you know, Mr. Cenzo, like, I want to be so respectful, like, to the business. Like, what do we do? Like, how do we do this? Yada, yada. Like, you get together, work with him. And he's like, let's just go out there and have fun, man. And we're just like, what do we do with that? Like, but that's how it is a lot of the time. Like, as I've learned, like, it's really like, this is the general idea. Go do it.
Right.
And like I'm such a preparer, and I'm just like, how do I do this? But it was really, really fun. So anytime I do these little bits, I'm just like, is this going to be whatever? So I just try to like not get in the mindset that I'm acting, just try to like react like I would. We did this great bit where I played Corvus to the Ring on the drums, and then so Corvus is a good guy. Matt Vertigo comes out. He gets in my face. He kind of grabs my shirt, and he's like, hey man, like you played him out, you play me out too. And basically what happens is it was like a little bit, and I'm scared, and I'm playing his song to the ring, which begs the question, how did I know how to play his song, kind of a thing. So it's like a whole thing. But and then the last thing, Riley Shepard has been getting in my face over at Titan, you know, obviously close with Vicky over there. She just dethroned Vicky, so she kind of got in my face while I was doing the call, and I'm still a little shook for that from that, man, as you can tell. But yeah, man, it was wild, dude.
There's a lot to pick from there, but I'm going to take one Jenga piece and just slip it right out with what you just ended. Just saw the latest footage of Riley standing tall and Vicky not so much. It's a visual. When you started speaking of it, that was the first thing I thought of. I just have two words for that. Holy shit. I mean, what is going on over there, my man? Wow.
So I'm trying to be like impartial, like I always say. Like that's another thing I need to work on commentary. Like I have my favorites. I need to call it right down. Speaking of my favorites, here's the Goodest brother. Come on in. He's here wearing the Ghostbusters shirt. What are you? Chris
The
Nunes.
goodest
You can't hear
brother,
him.
yes.
Goodest brother,
All
Chris
right.
Nunes. This is the handsome one. This is why we get all the interviews. This is the real reason. So. But yeah. But anyway, it smells so good.
Oh,
But yeah.
wow.
Anyway, so with Riley and Vicky, like just trying to be impartial here, like they have been feuding for the better part of 6 months to a year, I think. Has it been a year? Okay, this is why he's here. Yeah, it's been a long time. They've been this is why he's here, I'm telling you. 30-minute Iron Woman match, no holds barred match, straight up one-on-ones. And Riley, who I was sitting down doing commentary with, sweet Riley Shepard, Gladiator of the Geeks, very talented. Her record in Goddesses, Titan speaks for itself. And at one show was Wanted Dead or Alive. She got up after Vicky's ladder match with Mimi, which was fantastic. Check that out on YouTube, shameless promo. Riley goes up and smacks Vicky with the title. It's like, Riley, like this, I keep saying, like, this isn't you, like this isn't, because it was lovely being at the table with her and calling matches and like a switch, man, like, kind of changed her attitude. And that being said, she's been a different Riley, like obsessed with getting that title from Vicky. They just had a was a last woman standing match at the last event. Riley got in my face a little bit because I was wearing a Vicky shirt. Maybe I shouldn't have been wearing the shirt. I'm supposed to be impartial. I want to support Vicky. Riley's just kind of been a little bit of a loose cannon. She used to stand for the silent. She's a little bit more of a bully now. And I hate to say that. I don't fully understand it. But at the end of the day, she's the new champion. It took her about the better part of a year to dethrone Vicky. And yeah, she's the new Goddesses champion. It's the last woman standing match. It's all legal. I hate that it involved me in some form or fashion. And yeah, my heart goes out to Vicky. She's doing well. She's on the mend, and she's still got 5 more belts. So what do you want?
she is a Vicky multi-belt over there. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's it. Queen Midas.
We've only, in my area, I'm in Connecticut, we've only been able to see Vicky. I believe I seen her in this area one time. She went against the Tessa Strength champion, Karen Bam Bam, at that time.
Nice.
That was a banger. It was outside. I love the venue. It was at Ryder's Smokehouse in Thomaston. It's outside under a pavilion. Absolutely love it. They got a bar at one end, and it's just a great little vibe over there. That was a great time. But I also saw Vicky one other time, and that was at Invictus. Let's see, Invictus in Bloom. The event was called.
Where was that?
It was actually outside. I just followed the GPS because that was a good couple hours ride for me.
Yeah. Okay.
It was outside in this beautiful, like I want to say it was some kind of a park of some kind, but there was like a restaurant or a bar or a club of some kind. I can't even remember. It was a while back. It was like right when COVID was just coming, getting lifted. But man, what a great time Invictus was. That was my one and only, just because of the distance it is. It's like I can't do the long ones anymore. I'm getting too old, I think. Maybe that's
me too.
Excuse.
I feel it in my knees, man, when I play basketball. I live by the 3-point game now.
But you have mentioned drums a few times, and I kind of wanted to touch upon that. And also, you spoke of something that I always say on these interviews, that music and wrestling are so similar. You could go down a list and you will check all of these boxes for music and all of these boxes for wrestling, all the way down to the club owner, if you will, and trying to fight for your money, if you will, at the end of the evening.
No comment.
Oh, I've been there, my man. I'm that guy.
Yeah, yep.
Because I've been in some, not too many throughout my time, but I ended up, my last gig was a 6-year run. We went, tri-state pretty much, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. And we were doing 80s hair band shit and having a grand old time. And I was the guy that was always having to work the manager for the money and doing the booking and getting all of that good shit set up. So I feel the wrestlers' pains at times because it's way too similar. But that correlation, I just utilize that so much in my interviews because you can't get away from it once you start thinking about how much the similarities are between the two. But one of the biggest ones I feel is just that live on stage, you don't get another take.
Yes.
Even if there is no legit TV network there, the camera is always on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get another take. So I feel that really, that live stage energy from wrestling and being on, jamming on the Git. Love those vibes. Look at you smiling as you do. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Like I said this a million times, but like that live feel, like when I'm on the drums, man, like I know my parts. Like sometimes I'll have a solo, like very, very comfortable. But like I was joking about earlier with the wrestling, like when we worked with Vinny, he's like, let's just go out there and have fun. And we're just like, what do we do with this? Like, and it was great. Like it was great as I've learned on the fly. But I'm never like, I like the commentary booth, and I hate saying no to opportunities. So if they need me to get in the ring and say something, I did it at the last event. That's not my favorite. Again, like I want to give it all back. Like I don't need a spotlight on me or anything. I just love getting to tell the stories on commentary. But I do love that live feeling that you're talking about, man. And
Absolutely.
for me, just the commentary booth, I feel, and I don't want to limit myself by saying this because I am open to opportunities. I am open to learning. I never thought I'd be carrying a camera. I never thought I'd be doing commentary. I've been asked to ring announce at points. I'm not there yet, but I'm always open to opportunities, but just very thankful to learn. And I'm very happy to just kind of tell people stories. And I don't even love being on camera that much. So, so I like being on commentary.
I'm with you on hearing my own voice. I'm with you on looking at my own mush, and all of that, because it's like I, I'm so overcritical about what, because I don't do the, how do I say this? I don't really do the professional thing, if you will. I mean, I'm very respectful. I'll
Oh,
put
heck yeah.
that,
Yeah.
bringing that word respect back. But when I'm at the shows, or sometimes when I'm doing the interviews, I'm not all that professional because I use this shtick, if you will, that I bring to the events with me, and I fuck with the bad guys and I lift up the good guys, and that carries over into intermission, post event, sometimes even pre event, and where I get these promos from the girls and guys. And then it does carry over to the interviews, and I used to do them face to face before the
Yeah.
whole world went to shit. And I'll tell you, man, it's just so crazy that it's, we use that light switch term. When you get through that curtain, there's a light switch that turns on my music and
Yeah.
the energy and
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
that stuff. But I really, really do feel that, Mr. Williams, because I could have the shittiest work week ever. Like,
Yeah.
legit ever. The bills, the fam, the work itself, whatever else. I got 3 flat tires in one fucking day, whatever it may be.
Ugh. Yeah.
When I walk through the door of any wrestling event, I don't know what magic, little pixie magic dust that happens. I walk through those doors, or I pull into that parking lot and I see some of those peeps. That whole vibe of the bullshit through that week, it totally, and I don't know how, it just disappears. And I'm just all in on wrestling at that moment. And I don't remember any of that crap through the week at
Yeah.
all. I'm just so involved in it. But there literally is a light switch that turns on, and I turn into an instant jackass. I don't know why. I don't know why, but it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you mean, man. It's like again, it's been a part of my support system. It's been like very, very rewarding, man. Like I don't mean to knock the music scene and that I've been doing for, man, since I was 15, 16 years old, but it's like it's thankless at times. Sometimes you're literally paying to play, and wrestling is just giving so much to me on a personal level and a career level, where I'm getting to go to these events and work and learn and get paid to do so. And my problems do go away. I'll get out of the real job and start driving to the wrestling job. And I'm just excited when I'm driving, man. Like I totally get what you mean. And just to, like, I love to do commentary. I love to do the interviews. I love to be a part of the show or production in some form or fashion. But just again, just seeing everybody, man, and the relationships, and seeing people succeed. Like you mentioned, you've had friends that are now on AEW. Like same thing here, man. People we've had on the show 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, whatever it is. making it to that next level. To me, in the music scene, and again, this isn't a knock, this is just statistically what I've seen in my personal interaction. You don't see too many people get signed to a record label. You don't see too many people, headlining like Bon Jovi or whatever it is. It's a tough business. Even Mark Cuban says that. But with the wrestling, even through the pandemic era, a lot of opportunity. And my heart goes out to anyone who just got released, because that's starting to happen now. But before all that, there was opportunity. Khan was signing a lot of people. Some of our friends are now in AEW, and every week on Elevation Dark, it's usually someone we know getting an opportunity, getting that shine, getting that photo shoot. Usually getting beat up real quick. I tease, but it's great to see everybody on Elevation and Dark, and a lot of our friends getting signed, man. And if I do see them at a convention, congratulations. Like, dreams do come true. We saw you do it, and that motivates me. Not to say that this is a dream or anything like that, but it motivates me to say, like, wow, if you work hard enough, you could do what you want.
Absolutely. And I love that you brought up that vibe of the Dark and the Elevation, because seeing, I'll use Max Caster as an example. He comes to a TOS event. He's going up against Mike Skyros, the former K1 Classic champion. It was a trophy. I believe it was a trophy at that time. I forget the timeline or where I am with that. But I've never really saw, I've seen him with the Shook Crew plenty of times, but I never got an opportunity to like really talk to Max Caster. And it was pre-event, and I go, hey, Donkey Kate, a pleasure to meet you, blah, blah, blah. I came off respectful again.
Yeah.
And I go, I do this shtick, maybe just like a minute or two. He goes, yeah, absolutely. We walk outside. It turned into like a 5-minute conversation.
It
was awesome.
That's the
right?
best, man.
And I even had to kind of admonish him a couple times. It was awesome.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. It's great, though.
I'm talking like, if it was, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks at best after that, he's making his Dark debut, and they obviously loved the hell out of him because they had him sign right up on the dotted line.
Oh, yeah.
And now look at him, and he's been a regular since to get when he went on Dark. Not everybody's getting that opportunity, but just being able to have that platform to be able to possibly get that opportunity. Not only that, and I know it's only on YouTube, but some people, if you look at those numbers, they keep climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. We're talking like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of freaking people that are seeing just one Elevation, just one Dark. I mean, who doesn't want to be on a platform that all of those eyes are seeing,
Dude, yeah, very well said. And like I said earlier, I'm just so happy to see people achieve their dream. Or if they are just on Dark, like, it does open that door, or Elevation. As we've seen, a lot of those people are consistently on Dark or have gotten signed or whatever the opportunity is. We've literally had standing ovations in our living room when our friends come out on TV. Not only that, though, but they get the photo shoot, they get the exposure, they get to put it on their resume, and their rate gets to go up a little bit, I feel. So it's a great job. I've done numerous times. I've tweeted, thank you, Cody, thank you, Tony Khan, for opportunity for so many of our friends, and they've liked it here and there, man, which is pretty cool. Not really, they liked my post, but to see that they've seen it and they're acknowledging that they're doing it. Yeah, you know what I mean? There's opportunity. Hashtag opportunity is my favorite word. And there's opportunity for a lot of these up and comers, and there's a ton of talent here in the Northeast too.
Now, you spoke of Titan Championship Wrestling.
Yep.
They're quite early in their tenure. They haven't been around too long. I did see them when they started popping up, and the very first time I saw them, though, was at they were trying something different that I've never seen, but I heard that there's been kind of setups as such. They did a drive-in thing where they took 22 cars and kind of went around the ring with a canopy over it. I watched that fucking thing from minute 1 to minute none live on the Facebook, and I absolutely loved it. And I've been following Titan right along, maybe not as closely over the course of the past probably 6 months or so. I'm seeing this stuff and I'm sharing some of it, but I'm not seeing all of it like I was at the very beginning because I just kind of got busier myself. I love everything Titan. When they introduced their championship, loved everything about that. I absolutely love that they're doing what you've already mentioned, the War of Goddesses, or Goddesses of War.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Goddesses
Goddesses
of
of War.
and that is the women separate, if you will, with under the Titan Championship umbrella. And
There we go.
yes,
Goddesses of War. Got you, bro.
the production over there, the graphics, the artwork, and all of that, really really cool stuff. They're not half-assing any of it at all. And I remember probably a couple shows deep, all of a sudden they started getting fire columns to the left and to the right of the talent. And I just stood up and I popped like left and right as a fan. I was like, holy shit, this is tight.
I love the fire columns. Yeah.
But I have been following Titan. And I love everything about the company. Again, as I stated, through, I gotta say though, one of my favorite things, just because I am so impartial to courageous Christina Marie. Love me some Christina.
She's great.
A few things about her. I've got to know her a little bit over some of the promotions I was visiting. And then I never really got to speak to her too much at the beginning. And we started a little, opening up a little bit more and having like legit conversation.
Yeah.
So I asked her to be on Stir in the Pot, and she was episode 50. And I had a jar of moonshine, and I got all sorts of tanked with Christina Marie.
Oh,
it's like one of my all-time favorite episodes.
I'm going back and watching that later.
And I just love me some Christina Marie, but I got off the point a little bit. One of my favorite moments that happened at Titan was Christina Marie and Holiday in a cage. If I'm not mistaken, it was Holiday.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I do have very little data banks.
There's so much wrestling, dude. There's so much wrestling.
But that is definitely one of my favorite moments from Titan. Specifically just because, again, I'm impartial to courageous Christina Marie.
She's great, man. There's so many great things. That match you talk about, that was awesome. Holiday, always amazing. One of Nunez's favorites too. Just she's great in the ring, but her banter if there's a heckler in the crowd, forget it. She's all over them. She's great to her opponents. A little bit of humor in there. Holiday is next level. She is amazing. She should be on AEW every week. I'm just gonna say that. And she's getting opportunities now. She's killing it in Mission Pro. Been on ROH. She's been everywhere, doing a lot of things. But Holiday, I want to see on my TV every single week. She's amazing. And Christina Marie too. Christina Marie, always amazing, always great. And that was a stellar cage match. That was awesome. But you talk about the drive-in. That was basically one of the first shows, if not the first show around here to come back. And we had the cars around the ring. Actually, I wasn't part of it. I was just a fan. I was excited. I stayed in the car the whole time, and some of our friends, like, they'd come to the ring, make their entrance, and they were like waving to us in our car. And but it was like as silly as it was, it's such like a big thing because you don't really get to see everybody because of what was going on the world. Like the lockdown was kind of ending, but like we didn't know what was going on, and it was so crazy. We all stayed in our cars for the most part, and they did a great job with executing a show. I think a lot of the funds, if not all, went to the Ocean Gate EMS. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it was for charities. What's it's all about, when we're going through that tough time. Yeah. But the funny thing is, we were thinking about doing another one, or they were at the time. There might have been one more drive-in, but they were like, the ring got so hot for the performance because you have all these cars around it. With a canopy over it, it was just like the superstars were like, "We are dying in here," like not literally, but like it was so hot. So it turned into outdoor shows, and as things opened up, now we're back indoors, which is great to see.
Yeah, very cool setup, and that's what really attracted me when I first started seeing the marketing for the drive-in. I go, I gotta check this out. I want to see what the hell they're gonna do. They say they're gonna surround the ring. Legit, you surrounded the ring with cars. I mean, that was cool. I was intrigued, and I've been following. I just really wanted to pull that out because I see you do have some ties over there at Titan Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, we're all independent contractors, but I'm lead commentary there. I have been for the past couple shows, and thank you, David Adams, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, Billy Fetsky, for bringing me in again during a very tough time, man. I was very honored for that, and I'm proud to say I'm a mainstay there, and proud of what we've done. And the 2-year anniversary Shameless promo is January 8th. It's called Monsoon. There's some great matches on that card, so check it out if you guys are here in Jersey.
Just to stay on topic a little bit. Now, Mr. Moran and myself.
I knew you were thinking too much. I'm like, here's the hard-hitting question right here. Oh, boy.
Mr. Moran and myself, I believe we're okay, but I think, at a couple of the shows, at a couple of the shows, we might have had a rocky relationship, but I think we're okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I didn't know that. Okay.
This stems back a little bit, and I tried to, I boo too loud is my issue. I just boo too loud.
Okay.
And when I do boo, I give it my all. There's probably veins sticking out and shit.
You're that guy. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not vulgar though. I don't swear and I don't throw things and none of that dumb bullshit. But I boo. I boo. Okay. But anyhow, Mr. Moran, if I'm not mistaken, because I try to follow the media. Mr. Moran, isn't he a champion over at Titan Championship Wrestling right now?
So, not really a spoiler because it's all over social media now, but yeah. So Moran finally dethroned Steve Monster Mac after about a year and I think it's a year and 10 days, if I'm correct. And they have been feuding. He won the Mount Olympus Battle Royale coming in at number 4, or the Mount Olympus Rumble, I should say. And came out, took Monster Mac to his limit, hit him with the Widowmaker, and became your new Johnny Two Belts Titan Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
Wow, Johnny Two Belts.
Yeah, Johnny's my guy, man. So I don't know what's going on between you, but you might know a little bit of it. There's a little bit of a, depending on where he is, it's a different. I think we get some different Johnny Morans. I haven't met Sanctuary Johnny Moran yet, or New York Championship Wrestling Johnny Moran. I know Titan Johnny Moran. So.
Okay. Fair, because sometimes you got to play the part, if you will.
Whatever the match calls for. But the guy's no stranger to gold. He gets the job done.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not really play the part, but just take a different role, if you will.
Yeah.
Not that we have any static by any means, because look at Johnny Moran and look at me. I mean, I'm built like a candle, my man.
Stop.
Now, if you did notice, though, Mr. Moran got some new ink, and it says "Stir in the Pot with Donkey Cade." Wasn't that some beautiful, beautiful ink? I thought that was gorgeous.
Wait a minute. I don't remember. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? I'll reshare it
It's on Facebook, isn't it? Oh boy.
Yeah. Yes, I will reshare it and tag you specifically. Johnny Moran's new ink. It's beautiful. Let me tell you.
Oh no.
And he looks so much. I think he is gorgeous.
Oh, he's handsome as ever, man. No one has that right being that handsome. He's handsome devil.
But with the beard, my man, he was on STP with the beard. Shh, don't tell nobody.
Oh, okay.
He looked like Yukon Jack from the Rudolph. The Rudolph with the red.
He had a nice beard. I had him on when he had the beard. It was one of the questions I was. I'm like, how do you maintain the beard, man?
Very majestic. I will give him that. Very majestic.
But now he's trimmed down. He's cut, man. He's got the best 5 o'clock shadow in the business. Are you kidding
me? He's a gorgeous man. Just saying.
You ain't wrong. # wrestling fashion.
And that brings me, and I'm so glad because that triggered me into what started this whole # fashion thing. Give us all of this. What is going on, my friend?
So with wrestling fashion, again, I'm slowing down. I get so much heat for it. It's people take it very seriously, but truly the idea is to get. I see a lot of these superstars and independent wrestlers. They'll come at Ray Kalitri, for example. He'll come in full suit, beautiful watch. Casey Navarro, I've seen him over the years, always just styling. He came to a convention now with MLW. Casey always styling in MLW, man. A lot of these ladies, they look great, all dressed up. If they're going out, if they're at a wedding, Vertigo at a wedding, he's wearing like the tux. So I started doing wrestling fashion. I had heard another podcast where they were talking about wrestling fashion on the national stage. I think they were like talking about Sonya Deville, and it was the Queen of NE, frequenter on this show, who's amazing, and JBQ on Twitter. I forget the name, but they were talking about wrestling fashion on a national level. And I was like, well, all these indie guys, they're really stepping up their game. Like, you can see the ones that went the extra mile, even though they're just coming into a locker room, they're dressed to the nines. Like, it's amazing to see because they want it and they want to be perceived as professional. And I appreciate that. So I started doing it. The whole idea is, and I feel like people don't get this because I get so much heat for it. The idea is to tag the indie talent with the national talents, the Thunder Roses, the Charlotte Flairs, the Beckys of the world. And the cool thing is, when I put it on Instagram, you can see who's seen your story. So you can see that the Charlotte Flairs or whoever it may or may not be, I'd say about 30% of the national talent I've tagged, I think 30% is a fair number, have seen wrestling fashion. Chris Bay won it. He shared it. He's like, I know this isn't rigged. I'm like, thank you. He goes, because I won. But Bay of the day right there, Chris Bay, he's amazing. Always very fashionable. But wrestling fashion, hashtag wrestling fashion was to get the indie talent tagged with national talent in some form or fashion, and they appreciate it. You see them up in their game. You see people like, who's in charge of this wrestling fashion, yada, yada. Like, I'm bequeathing it to somebody else because it's I get too much heat for it. Like, or someone will post something like 2 hours after I posted the nominees, and they're like, you missed me. And I'm like, well, like, I don't have eyes everywhere. Like, I really try, though. I try to change it up. I try to get people, like, now I'm trying to get more people in, like, the Midwest because I'm used to the Northeast. And if I see something on TV, I got to tag them too, man. So it really is, again, it really is giving back to them. I'll never be nominated. I am not fashionable, but I think wrestling fashion, we're going to take a little break for a little while.
I wanted to speak upon, if I'm not mistaken, your most current winner of hashtag Fashion Week wrestling fashion is Lady Frost. Am I not mistaken on that? Is that correct?
It was a close one, Lady Frost. And yeah, basically what I do, and I know I'm going to get all sorts of shenanigans and yada, yada. I put it on several social media platforms, and in the comments, you put, Lady Frost, whoever it is. Cerebus, Vince Sears, was very close to winning. I thought he had it. Lady Frost took the cake on this one. And guys, one vote only. You can't put someone or someone. You got to vote for one person so I can tally it up. And that's how it is. I get a vote, of course, as well. But yeah, Lady Frost, who's always super fashionable and arguably one of the best in fact, one of the best high flyers that I've ever seen, having some amazing match, more flips in the morning shift at IHOP. Let's be real. Love Lady Frost, had to get that in there. But yeah, she deserved it. It was a great victory for her. I'm trying to think. I just posted one today, I think. I'm trying to think who's in the lead right now. I got to look at it, but I like the first two comments are already heat for me. Oh, you used my picture. Da, 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 da. I'm just like, I can't, like, I'll stick with the drums. I don't know.
I kind of find that at times it'll be like, would you like to set up something? And, we kind of correspond and we find a date, we find a time. Yeah. I take a picture of the calendar and I send it to them as a screenshot. They're like, awesome. I'll whip up a graphic real quick and then I'll send it to them and be like, no, you got to use a different picture. Wait, what? I think that looks awesome. No, see, you got to use this picture. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
That's how it be, man.
That I can do that and I will cater to that because, hey, you're coming on. I got to do that,
Dude, I'm surprised you even found a decent picture. I mean, bro, I'm happy with whatever you got. You made me look good, man. I appreciate it.
I did. In full transparency, I did do some adjusting of the picture because I thought with the blazer and everything, I really wanted to make it a little more tighter on the editing of the picture. So I did fuck with it a little bit.
Oh, you did? Okay, that's why I look so good. Look at you, my man. My guy.
I did.
My dude.
Now, the commentating thing you've said is seems to be at the top of your list here. Assuming under drumming, if you will.
Yeah. It's different, man. It's like two different realms, but I love doing it.
Now, you already mentioned that you've been offered some ring announcing positions. I was offered a couple times, and I just flat down. And I was like, you know what, man, I just I feel like I would disrespect the business because of this.
Right, right.
I don't want to change what I'm doing. I don't want to have to maybe you gotta look you gotta look sharp. You gotta be like extra professional here. You gotta present yourself. You have to have a niche with your voice.
That's it.
Um,
Yeah.
and I do kind of have, I guess, a niche, if you will, when I'm at the shows. But I could never be in there if I'm not in a jeans and t-shirt. You just might as well put me in there naked, and nobody wants to see that fucking shit. I mean,
it's a family shit. It's a family shit.
But I just feel I would disrespect the business first off because I would want to do what I want to do. You know, being the bad guy, I'm just gonna screw with them anyways vocally, and with the good guy, I'll be a little bit better or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of want to utilize the shtick a little bit, and that's not what companies want out of that. You know?
Yeah, it's a great point. Like I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm the opposite because I'm all about being respectful. I want to be different. Like they always kill me for my fashion because I'll wear the blazer, I'll wear like the nice pants and the nice shoes, but I'll always wear like an indie t-shirt. I got in trouble for wearing Vicky's last time. I have my interview everyone and leave, kind of like the Roman Reigns knockoff. So it's like the self-brand. This is the thing, like local music, don't wear your own shirt. Wrestling, wear your own shirt. That's like that's gospel for wrestling. So I wear a t-shirt and then like the nice blazer and then the nice stuff over. So people always kill me for that. They're like, this makes no sense. But my philosophy is a little bit the opposite, and I'm trying because I'm very careful and calculated and such a preparer that when I do get opportunities, I try not to say no. Like that's kind of my thing. That's why I'm here on commentary. Like that's why I'm backstage interview or whatever it is. So when I was asked to ring announce for a promotion that was going to happen in 2022, as of now, I don't think that particular promotion's happening anymore. In my head, I'm just like, like you're not a ring announcer, man. You're not made for it. But I said, yes, thank you for the opportunity. I'm happy to do it. In which case I would prepare and do the reps, and I'd probably do an okay job. And again, I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to make mistakes. And I study everyone else. So I try not to say no to things. And so far it's worked out really well for me.
Well, I totally, absolutely appreciate that. But in this specific instance with the two companies that asked, it was very a couple of my regulars that I go to. And I really felt that around me, there was already some very, very good ring announcers that were surrounding it, that, go to the events that I go to, that I felt I would disrespect them in the same token because they want the work, they want the reps. And I know I could have jumped in there, and I might be their ring announcers to date at this point, but I don't know, and I didn't want to step on any toes.
I get it,
and I feel comfortable. In all honesty, I really do feel comfortable being a fan with my phone, having a lot of fun. I can go from company to company, not have to worry about maybe being tied down to X dates and have to, do those, kind of schedule. And not to take anything away and not wanting to have those experiences, not at all. I just feel more comfortable as a fan, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I love what you said real quick, not to jump over you, but
no.
You hit it right on the head, man. When you said like, you don't want to step on toes, like that's another reason I'm hesitant to do things. When I was brought in as commentary, it started at Goddesses. And I was Rob from the Bob Culture podcast, special guest commentator. So I was the third man or third person, I should say, on the totem pole. And I did my prep. I talked to some of the girls at Goddesses War beforehand, got the move sets. Mimi came over and wished me good luck, like on behalf of the locker, which was like super classy. So shout to Mimi. She's amazing and she's killing it right now. Just saw her on AEW Dark again. But I digress. But my goal there was to make an impression without stepping on toes. And so that's why I kind of have like the whole pun disputed era shtick with all the puns and things like that. And it gets a chuckle here and there, but at the same time, you don't, especially if there's a serious match going on, you don't want to make it about you. But I like to get those little clever lines in there, or like timely lines. I'll make sports references or stuff like there. He got out of there faster than Syndergaard got out of New York, like little stuff like that, which is like timely and things like that. So I try to get that in there, but I never want to like overshadow anybody or especially the performers in the ring. But no one at the booth at all. So I'm giving away all my secrets here, man. But try to make an impression without stepping on toes.
Yes, no, very well said. And as you were speaking about that, I kind of was remiss. I did dabble in commentating twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, if the opportunity was there to continue it, I probably would have. But the vid happened, and I just never went back to it. Is all with said specific company. I did 2 shows back to back. One was outside, one was inside.
Okay.
But when I did the first one, and I listened back, and I mean, and I know we are our own worst critics, Mr. Williams, but I am telling you, there's a term that's used in wrestling, and I'm sure you're aware of the term, the shits, the drizzling shits, if you will. That was me.
Really? I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Really? Or are you just being hard on yourself?
No. Here's the thing. He wanted me to be the heel commentator, if you will. And I questioned it. Why, sir? Why, sir? Don't do this to me. And he goes, we already have our babyface, if you will, commentator.
Right.
And I go, damn. So I had to turn the tables, and it confused, again, one of the parts of the formula, confused the talent, because I'm sitting there trying to praise them, and they're giving me shit as they're coming in from their entrance or leaving, if you will. And they were like, we discussed stuff after the fact, and I was like, he put me in.
It wasn't organic. I can relate.
No, not at all.
I can relate to that. I was at one event, and I was asked to be the heel commentator, and I'd always been told, like, because like I was starting commentary, people were always like, be the guy who you are on the podcast, and I'm like, that makes perfect sense. Like, it's organic, it's real. It's relatable in some aspect, for the 2 people that follow me. Hi, Mom. And I digress. There's a self-deprecating bit again. Totally off topic. But someone had asked me to be the heel, and I was like, well, and first of all, looking back, I should have said, yes, whatever role you need me for, like, happy to do it. Because I've seen people do that and adjust it. And these are people who are really good at commentary, who I take notes from. And I've seen people ask them to be the heel. And I'm just like this guy, what? And they just do it, and they knock it out of the park. And I'm like, I should be more like that. Yeah. Do I feel that I should ever be a heel? No, I don't think it makes sense for the BCP brand, but it ain't about me. Right. I don't think it makes sense for the organicness. That's not a word, but like you were saying, and I remember saying, I was like, I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Like, I'm literally sponsoring one of the good guys. Like, I'm like, and they were just like, okay, no problem. And it all worked itself out. But I totally get what you're saying, man. Like, you're all prepped to come in a certain way, and which you learn in wrestling that changing the script, rewrite, whatever it is. You got to be on your toes, man. Let's go out there and have fun.
I've discussed that within my interviews many a time, and I've asked them, what do you prefer, heel or face or whatever. Yeah. But I just never. I'm not an asshole to the guys and the girls. I'm always uplifting, and I always like to stir the pot and poke the bears. I mean, that's what I do.
There it is, stir the pot.
Shameless plug to my friend Eric. Yes. He's always stir the pot and poke the bears. But it was just so different. So I tried to act a little bit differently, and like you said, it was forced. But when I came back to the second show, and I talked to the guy, I go, listen, I'm going to be throwing a shtick at you throughout the whole event. I hope it doesn't get stale, and I'm not going to do it every single sentence I do. I will sprinkle them in. I've been writing down, I have a list of about 30 male names that begin with M, and I am going to call you, hopefully not all of them, because that's a lot. But I am going to run down the list, and I am going to call you everything but your real name, and we're going to have some fun with it. He goes, that sounds awesome.
There you go.
So we worked off of that, okay? Now, a little bit further down from when we were sitting was the promoter of said company, and my peripheral is pretty decent, and I can see somebody over to the side towards the corner, and he looked like he was, the mannerism, if you will, looked like he was laughing. And I look over there, and it's the promoter. He is absolutely dying because I am just cutting this guy,
There you
you
go.
know? And I have to say, I felt much more comfortable. Now,
Yeah.
I have to do 2 interviews to the last 2 matches, being the co-main event and the main event. Now, the main event involved Mr. Matt Striker. Okay.
Okay.
So Matt Striker comes out, and I do the heel bit with him. And it turned into a shit sandwich for me, but a memory that I will never forget because I just puked all over the fans. Well, little did I know, because they told me he was going to be the heel. Little to my knowledge, he was not the heel. He grabbed that microphone and walked around that gymnasium and cut a promo on me and had the crowd behind him. And I will never forget it. It was
Wow.
absolutely amazing.
That's epic, bro. That's amazing, man.
So no,
Can't beat that, dude.
yeah, 2 times I did commentate. Was it fun? Absolutely. Would I like to try it in my more natural role, if you will? Absolutely. I think it would be good times. But again,
Yeah.
just being me, just wanting to be the fan and go to different companies in different states. I just don't like. I don't want to. I don't want to say it, but I gotta say it because it's part of the world. The drama and the politics. Sometimes you get caught up in it, and if you're tied to maybe a company, you won't maybe get when you go as a fan, you might be looked at differently, just in some eyes, if you will. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah,
Right?
man. I'm glad that you bring that up because first of all, this is nothing new as I've learned, and I'm very new. I keep saying this has been my rookie year, my rookie season. The drama has been part of indie wrestling. We see it on the national brands too. Has been a part of it forever, so it's no surprise. It's between the
Right.
promoters. A lot of it has nothing to do with the talent. Some of it does, but a lot of it has nothing to do with the talent. At the end of the day, and I said this as soon as I got involved and drama started, I said, all right, because there's I'm not trying to make this a me thing, but just in terms of like the hats I wear, there's commentary. Basically, I say this: if I'm going to work at Titan, I'm wearing the Titan hat. I'll do this. I'm working Pro Wrestling Magic, wearing the Pro Wrestling Magic shirt, hat, whatever it is. Do my job the best of my ability. If I'm here on the BCP, it's journalist. It's journalist, right? And I'm never too hard hitting, but if you're my guest on my show, I'm gonna put you over unless we're working some sort of angle or something like that. So that's what I try to do. If I'm working a show, I am this. I'm, and I'm always true, like you said, like I'm always true to myself, and I always try to do right by everybody. But that being said, there is always drama, and recently on the show we've been talking about the drama a little bit more. We didn't really address it. We kind of stayed away from it, and now people have successfully been able to navigate the drama between different companies. If you work here, you can't work here, kind of thing. And at the end of the day, and I said this since day one, I said at the end of the day, I can look at it from everybody's perspective. Like everyone, we're not signed to WWE, we're not signed to AEW, if that's the case. And some of them are that come in on the indies for sure. But if you're not signed to one of those major companies, you're not under contract, you are an independent contractor here. That's just facts. That's not my opinion. And you can work wherever you want. That being said, a promoter has every right to say, because you worked here, I don't want you here or whatever. I feel that should be the case? No, I feel that you should, you're an independent contractor. If I was running a company, I would say, hey, this person puts butts in seats. This person has the longest line of intermission. This person is a great performer and up and comer. This is a person that is what I want in a match. I'm not a promoter, but I do take notes. And I'll say this: at the end of the day, everyone's an independent contractor. They can work wherever they want, as long as they get the opportunity. If I'm a promoter, I have every right to say, I want you to work here. I don't want you to work here for whatever reason. That's just how it is. That being said, I am personally of the belief that working together and building bridges and forbidden doors being open, usually for the most part, not always, but usually for the most part, everybody wins. And it's more money, it's more butts and seats, it's more opportunity for the performers. So that's the way I've always thought about it. I like that a lot of the talent now is speaking about it a little bit more. I like that we're talking about it a little bit more. And it seems a lot of these barriers and walls here in the New Jersey area have gone down. and everyone's just working everywhere they want. I know where I want to work. I don't know where I want to be. I know where I don't want to be. I know where I don't want my guys to be. And I'm just thankful for the opportunities that have been extended to me. I'm very grateful, man. And at the end of the day, it's my choice.
Absolutely, and that's why I choose to um, maybe stand back from some of these opportunities I could have probably had. But it has nothing to do with their name. It's just I don't want to be part of that stuff.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
for
I like
sure.
doing me. I like doing me, having fun, having the relationships and the friendships and those bonds we spoke of. I love all of that. Why do I want to f that all up? I mean, and it tends to make waves, and the little waves in wrestling become very very big waves.
Yeah, at the end of the day, and I also said this too, like if the fans or the people that pay to go to your shows, like if they know about the drama or they're involved in the drama or it affects them, then I think really nobody wins. That never made sense to me.
Right, when it's too upfront. I've
Right.
never gotten that myself at all, my man. I am totally with you on that one. Now I spoke of the ring announcing, the commentating, and I spoke of that I dabbled twice in commentating. Ring announcing, we lost a dear friend, Big Jim Anderson, not that long ago. And 8 promotions got together and they did a show at Kevin Landry's Combine in
Oh
Holyoke.
wow.
And it was amazing. I wish we could get more promotions to do something like this. It was just
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
That's
But I was
that's
asked to
amazing.
be, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's amazing. I don't want to get like too deep, man. That's amazing. It's like one of those things, man. I always try to, especially now, like we've gone through this pandemic era and all this stuff,
Mhm.
man. And it sucks that people have lost people or older family members or whatever it is, man. It's real, man. Like man, I want to get deep, man, but like tomorrow it ain't promised, man. And at the end of the
Oh,
day, like you never want to look back and I'll be like, oh, I should have worked with this person, or I regret like writing this person off or whatever it is, man. So sorry, that just came to mind. I'm sorry.
no, because it's kind of my point. Um, the promoter for the show came up to me and says, "Hey, Kincaid, we want you there at the Big Jim show." I go, "Of course I'm going to be there. I loved Big Jim." I go, I cry thinking about the guy for goodness sake. And he goes, "No, we want you in like an official capacity." I go, "Doing what?" He goes, "Ring announcing." I go, "Dude, I've never ring announced before." He goes, "I don't give a fuck." I go, "Are
Wow.
you serious?" He goes, "You're going to be sharing ring announcing duties with Matt DeCourt. Love me some Matt DeCourt. What an very fast rising Mr. Matt DeCourt. Love that guy to pieces. One of our local favorites around here, and he's spreading his wings a little bit more and a little bit more as the days go on. So I had the privilege to do that, and we kind of alternated matches. He would do one, like I
Yeah,
started the
yeah.
battle royal, and we alternated, which was a blast, and I'll never forget that. But I looked at the GM and I go, "But I don't look like Mr. Matt DeCourt. I don't speak in a professional manner." He goes, "Listen to me. I want you in jeans, t-shirts, your chucks, and bring that Kincaid. Just do what you do. That's all Jim would want, and that's why we want you there." And I go, "Like legit?" He goes, "Legit." That's what I did, and I will never forget it. But I only did it. The reason being was because of the memory of Jim, and I really wanted to step up for all of the boys and girls that were coming together, and that's why I really stepped up. I was scared as f, bro. I didn't want to do that, but I was so scared. But these opportunities speaking of that I turned down, and yourself, being a heel commentator, it's just not my vibe right now. Maybe I should have, but you never know because we kind of missed those. But with Jim's passing, I am like, F this. I'm jumping in, man.
Yeah.
I got to do this.
That's awesome. And it was probably organic because you got to be you. You got to wear your t-shirt, got to wear your jeans,
Yes.
man. You got to be you, man.
And I got to piss off. Actually, I got to piss off a couple of my most hated wrestlers around because, and not only that, I I just want to paint a quick picture because you've been in the ring many a time, I'm sure, correct?
Yeah, I feel I have no right being there every once in a while, though.
No. But you've been in a ring, and from a perspective when you're outside the ring, being a fan, and then once you get in the ring, it's a total different perspective. Just when they're the higher rings, just looking down a little bit at the seating, if you will, or it's just a different feel from inside there. First off, second off, it looks really huge. But when you get in there, it kind of feels big. But when you got Jay Bricks coming at you because you effed up his entrance,
Oh no.
that ring got real small, real quick, and I couldn't get away fast enough.
I bet
Luckily,
it did.
referee Jeremy Bell. I mean, not that he was a big dude, but at least I had somebody in there to kind of maybe help me out a little bit. But he made Matt the Court redo his whole intro, which kind of pissed me off because I was happy with what I gave him. It was basically Jay Bricks, blah, blah, blah. I don't really like this guy, blah, blah, blah. Something to that effect. It was pretty much just like that.
Oh, it was like that.
like
Now it
verbatim.
makes sense. Okay. This guy's causing trouble. I see what's going on here.
But that's what I do. That's what I'm saying.
Love it. That's amazing.
But that's the kind of fun we like to have at the shows. And that kind of brings me full circle of wrestling, my man. That's what we do when it comes to wrestling. Get away, shut down the real shit for a minute, and just kind of soak in. Even if it's not in the ring, you don't have to be in the ring to be in wrestling, and just get away for a little bit. We just spoke to Mr. Williams we are running an hour and 25 minutes, and we totally got away from the bullshit. It's Tuesday, and I hate Tuesdays. They're too close to Mondays.
That's
But
right.
I wasn't thinking it was Tuesday because I've been talking to my man over here. Two
Stop.
Goombas who are looking sharp.
A lot of handsome on the screen right now, mostly on your end.
And talking some wrestling.
That's it.
But the point is wrestling, my man. Love me some wrestling. Wouldn't have met. Now, we didn't meet ever. This is our first time actually ever legit talking. We've never even met before.
Yeah, man. I'm a Jersey guy. You're in Connecticut, you said.
Yeah. So,
yeah, man.
I mean, to hang out for the first time with the common denominator being wrestling, and obviously the interview thing kind of helped that along a little bit.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It was just so comfortable, and that's what wrestling does when you're in it, though. It's like, when you're growing up and you're a wrestling fan and you've got, I don't know, maybe one other guy that you can hang with to talk with wrestling when you're coming up in school.
Yeah.
I find it's a different world now with wrestling. Even though that the viewership is down, there's still so many people that are very, very into and associated with wrestling.
Yeah, you said it perfectly, man. It's interesting. But again, now, to be fair, we are in these wrestling circles. We know a lot of the performers. We know a lot of the production. We know a lot of the talent. But I'm so happy to be not even a part of it, just to be friends with these people. Some really great humans. And they put smiles on faces. It's entertainment. It's theater. It's athletics. It is #wrestling fashion. It is music. It is writing, it's production, there's nothing else like it. I know not everyone gets it. And that's okay. Maybe that makes it more special, you know what I mean? But these, like I keep saying, these relationships and these people and these opportunities, man, mean so much to me. I wouldn't be talking to you if it wasn't for that, man. And yeah, man, that's all I could say, man. You can see me smiling right now. Just very, Thanksgiving just passed, man, but just very, very grateful, man.
Absolutely. I am in the same boat with you. I always use these two words when I speak to the talent, or, pre-vid, when I was able to be invited to their homes or their getaway spots or whatever. Privileged, honored. I don't know how I got all of this because I was a little son of a bitch growing up, creating some havoc. I just feel, really honored and privileged every time I get to go past that invisible barrier, if you will, from fan to wrestler. And I love every second of it, won't change none of it. And I know we could talk. Me and you, yourself and I, it seems besides wrestling, we could dabble into some music talk, but we could probably talk for hours and hours. And instead of doing all of that and really boring everybody with our chit chat for maybe 5 hours, maybe we kind of bring it to a tail end. I got a couple of questions before you go, if that's
cool. Of course. Come on, bro. For you.
And then,
I got you.
Oh, I love that. And then we can have a return a little bit later down the road. see if your career has changed. What other hats have you worn? What's Mr. Rob Williams up to in maybe 4, 5, 6 months? I'd love to have you return.
Nobody cares about that. No one wants to know that.
I do, and my dad and his dog watch, so I'm sure they're gonna want to.
Yes, I'm here for
yeah.
that. Okay, I love that.
And I apologize if those are the only 2 views we get.
Stop.
No, that's really on me. My bad. Now, now I know it's hard, very hard, because you've talked to so much talent, being local, all the way up, and we'll just name drop as you will, Kurt Angle. I mean, how can you not want to say that? But is there a special moment or anything that happened during interviews, not at the shows, not during an event or whatever, just specifically for the BCP? Is there any special moment you can kind of pull out and be like, you know what, man, that was really cool for us or for me personally? You got something in mind over there?
There's a couple, man, and it's a hard question, man, but the short answer is literally getting to interview our heroes from like growing up with my best friends in the world. It's a moment, man. I remember we had Jake on, Jake the Snake, shameless promo, name drop, yada yada. Me, Vac, the Andy Smart, Matt Wittes, we were waiting for the call. We had it all set up with Jake. This was years ago. And I just remember all 3 of us at one point, we were like in my apartment at the time. We're all pacing back and forth, just waiting for the phone to ring. And I just I'm like, we're literally all pacing, like, because we were all like, and it was a great interview. I was very happy with it. Getting to sit down again with a Ghostbuster, which is like my childhood, Ernie Hudson, Winston Zedmore from Ghostbusters, with one of my best friends in the world, was amazing. And just talking to him, and we asked what his favorite horror movie was. He's like, I'm not a big horror movie guy. I'm like, he's a Ghostbuster. He goes, yeah, I'd rather bust him than watch. I was just like, it doesn't get better than that. Navarro is always amazing. Casey Navarro, one of our favorite guests. We had a great interaction with him at Legends of the Ring, where Sammy was across from us. He just won the TNT title, Sammy Guevara. And he heard us talking to Casey about the Forbidden Door, and we're like, and he's like, I see Sammy, and Sammy had a little interaction with Casey. He was very respectful with Casey, and I posted that all over Twitter, and I'm like, make this happen, and yada yada. But that was a very cool moment to have that interaction with the new TNT champion and Casey Navarro, our guy. Kind of off camera kind of thing. So that was cool. Just little moments like that, sitting down with Deanna Purrazzo and Steve Macklin, who was just such a cool dude. He's just chilling, hanging out. Like, what are you guys doing? And we sat down, had a great, just such a fun, organic interview with him. Like I was saying earlier, man, that I love the vibe that we give. I'm so proud of my guys. It's like a morning show. It's just like chilling with the boys, chilling with whoever. Deanna interview, I smile every time I watch that. She's amazing. That was bucket list for us, but I was just so happy with the way that it went. There's just little things like that, man, where you get to sit down with your heroes. Autographs are great. Pictures are awesome too. I'm a pictures guy. I'm all about nostalgia and memories, but like sitting down and picking the brain of some of your heroes, some of the people that you grew up watching, man, that's really cool. But also these independent talent that are hungry right now. I'm happy to be assisting or giving them some help in their journey, and a lot of them have made it. And you do the same thing, my man.
Yeah, thank you, because all of that, again, I feel it right here. But I want to pull out the word memories. That's what we do when we leave the events or when we have these interviews, even if it's via Skype. There's always these little memories. And looking back, I look back at all the interviews as well, because I want to see how much of it I have to. I have to put a level of jackassery when I watch these things back for myself personally. And I'm like, did I get carried away? Sometimes I did. Sometimes I.
I hate watching myself. I really hate watching I do it to learn, but I hate listening or watching to myself.
Yeah. But yeah, memories, love all of them. I'm getting these odd messages. There may be trouble for me after we get done. Holy cow. Because this pop-up just reminded me, and it has to pertain to this. I found myself in a non-sanctioned match
What? With who?
Yeah, a non-sanctioned match. I go to Battlefront in Ludlow, Massachusetts very often when they have their shows. I think I've only missed 2 since their inception in 2018.
Oh, wow.
Smaller company, they probably draw about 250, 300, maybe sometimes 350 or so. We have a grand old time. A lot of local talent around our area, Connecticut, Massachusetts, now Rhode Island as well. And two Buff Inc. It's a comprised of a father-son team. The father, I call him the president of the AARP. He's probably like 137. They're a tag team. His son, Two Buff, he's about my size. He likes to put his arms out, and he calls himself Two Buff. Together, they're called Buff Inc., if you will.
Okay.
But he put me in his stretch. I got caught up in the moment, and I jumped up on the apron, and I distracted the referee a little bit, and I did cross the line, and I got into his environment. Totally on me, and I've taken full responsibility for that. Okay. Absolutely my bad. 100, as I say. Totally on me. And as I got up there, he went to grab me. I ran like the banshee. I ran like the wind. You have no clue. I'm pretty wiry too, so I can run pretty quick. Got caught. Ran outside. Got caught. They brought me back in, and they gave me what they call the buff clutch. It's a full Nelson while he's sitting basically on my back, and he's just like cranking back. And again, built like a candle. I could snap like that, like peanut brittle. I'm telling you, man, it's one of my worst nightmares of my entire existence. And I'm like 51 years old right now.
But you look great, man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, I'm sorry to go on about this, but I'm having sleepless nights. And I'm in this non-sanctioned thing. I haven't signed a contract, if you will. And I have to, I want to express such to the Battlefront higher ups, the management, if you will. I should probably, what time is it? What time is it right now?
Right now, 10:39 p.m. where I am.
Oh, fuck, 10:39. You know what? 10:39. You know what? I'm cutting a promo tonight. I never signed a contract.
Okay.
So this Sunday coming up, December 5th, I find myself in a tag team match. Myself, the Mighty Bosch, 6'3", maybe 6'4".
Okay.
High twos, maybe 300. Big old superhero, and I feel very safe. But I also feel very nervous because I am not an athlete, my friend. I am not an athlete.
Okay.
And I just got dragged into this by Battlefront management, and I'm scared deathly of it. But I did want to mention it because tonight is Rob Williams. Tomorrow night is Colossal Mike Law. Love me some Mike Law. Okay. And then that's my last interview for the week. And then Sunday comes. I may never see you again, my man.
Bro, no, you're good, dude. Lay low. Get yourself a good chiropractor. Like. There's ways you can kind of get around it a little bit, maybe.
I'm trying. I don't know if my promo is going to help or hurt. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
there you go.
Out with the higher ups. We'll see where that goes. But I just wanted to express my love and compassion and everything that you bring to the table as take all of the interview, take all of the commentary away, put it to the side. As a wrestling fan, my man, I love me some Rob Williams as a wrestling fan. I appreciate you, my man.
Dude, no, thank you. Seriously. It's a two-way street, like I keep saying. Thank you for having me on, man. I'm happy to help and interview people. I'm happy to do interviews with my friends. I'm happy to just meet people like you from all over the world and chat with you, man. And thank you for what you're doing, man. Like I said at the beginning of the show, like a lot of times, people make it about them or they make it about, and which you should, your branding, all that stuff, especially if you're a superstar in the ring, like make it about you, wear your own t-shirt, like all that kind of stuff. But you do a great job giving the performers a platform to cut their promos, to talk, to tell their story like you let me do today, man. So it goes both ways, man. I appreciate you.
Awesome. I feel that love. Before I do let you go, I would, not that we haven't shamelessly plugged in sprinkles throughout, and I love all of that. And mentioning it to us as you did it. Now, I would like you to plug whatever you want. May it be a promotion, may it be an event, may it be the cast, whatever you want. Hit us all with everything, and also please give us the names and stuff so we can find all of that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. All about the shameless promo. That's what we're about here on the BCP. Guys, follow us at the Bob Culture Podcast, obviously on YouTube. I know it's an audio format, but we are trying to grow the video. We're trying to grow the YouTube. We're also on Mobfi TV. Check us out there. Leave us a review on, it's not iTunes anymore, Apple Podcasts. That helps us a lot. We're trying to break that top 100 in wrestling again, man. Shameless promo, love that. Check our interviews with the likes of Velvet Sky, Jake the Snake, Jim Ross, a lot of the up and coming indie talent. I could go on and on. Like I said, we've talked to a Ghostbuster, Ernie Hudson. We're at the Bob Culture Podcast on Instagram. We're at Bob Culture Pod on Twitter. I'm also senior editor for the popbreak.com. Check out my video game reviews, my local band reviews, and of course, a lot of wrestling on there as well, man. And thank you, Don, so much for the platform, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Yes, what a fine way to end an amazing, boys and girls. If you followed us through this hour, 39 minutes, 54 seconds, if you followed us this long, I love you for sticking with us, because it's just a couple guys talking wrestling, talking interviews, talking talent, talking promotions. But that's the point of this, to spread that love of said promotions, said talents. And if you haven't heard of any of these names or the promotions that we've spoken of, get on the old keyboard, get on the YouTube, get on the Facebook and the Insta, and whatever you do. If you're on the grinder, I don't know what that even means, but if you're on the grinder, look it up. I don't even know what that means. But get on the social medias, look up the talents, because we want to spread the spotlight. We want to spread the love and the fandom, because if you're a fan of wrestling, why wouldn't you want to see new promotions and new talent? I mean, come on. That's what we do around here. We just like to get that train, that circle of networking, keep it flowing, my man. That's what we do. With all of that said, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate your time. I appreciate what you give to the industry. This is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest, Rob Williams.
Thank you, brother.